Ohio State grinds out a gusty, not gutsy, could have been gutsy, gusty victory at Northwestern 21-7. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com, along with Doug Lesmerises and Stephen Means. We're here to grade C.J. Stroud, as we do after every game. He finished a 10 of 26 from passing, which is just almost unimaginable until you see the conditions, I guess, here today, that he would ever go 10 of 26, as efficient he's been throughout his career. 76 yards, no touchdowns, and 79 rushing yards, which is almost unimaginable in its own way. I'll go first. I was expecting a pretty low grade. I was thinking it would be a pretty low grade. And then as we get done with interviews, and I'm actually waiting to try to grab a word with C.J. Stroud's mom, I walk out and then am like blown into the lake by this gust of wind, and it gave me a full realization of what I guess they were dealing with down here on the field today. So I'm gonna say C+. I still think there were some things he could. Actually, no, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say B. Because again, just what it took to try to throw the ball in this weather was, I think, pretty insane. And he didn't get helped by his receivers on a couple of occasions with some drops. And he ran the ball well. He did what he had to do. He took what was there from the defense. And two of the hugest plays of this game, probably the two biggest running plays of this game, were zone read options by C.J. Stroud. The 4th and 1 that he went for 16 yards and set up a touchdown. And then the 44-yard run that flipped the field and set up a touchdown. So, B. Doug?
Yeah, the two biggest runs were Emeka Egbuka's touchdown and Mayan Williams' touchdown. Probably the 4th one in there, too. Incomplete. I'm not giving him a grade because, this doesn't tell you anything about C.J. Stroud. I said before the game, we're going to watch this for 3.5 hours. We're going to watch a good team against an awful team. It's going to be horrible, and it's going to tell us nothing. Now, I do think it told us some things, and you can go read cleveland.com/OSU about the team. I don't think it told us anything about C.J. Stroud. So I don't think him involved in the run game is anything that matters long term. And it was nuts, as you said. So I'm not even going to give him a grade because the test wasn't fair. You know what I mean? It's like there's a fire drill in the middle of the test. And so it's what'd you get? It's well, I'm not giving any grades for that. So I just think it was that odd. I was in 18 years one of the 3 windiest games I've ever covered. So I just think it's not indicative of the player he is, which we all know. It's just not.
Very likely that this will be the only time in his career, which is coming to an end most likely in the next couple of months, at least his Ohio State career, that he'll ever have to play a game in conditions like this. Stephen, your grade.
I didn't know we were allowed to give incompletes.
Yeah, we make up the rules as we go along.
I think I'm good at – I agree with that. I think it is an incomplete. He's not going to run for 79 yards again this season, more than likely. That's not the type of quarterback he is. And the wind threw it off so much that I don't think he made bad decisions in the passing game. It was just wind, drop passes. If those things don't happen on a normal day, this is probably 20 or 26 for C.J. Stroud in a normal passing day, but that wasn't available to him. The only thing that the running told us is that some of the things he's been saying the last 2 years aren't lip service, that if they need him to run, he will. They're not going to need him to run after today because he's just going to throw it around to these wide receivers, especially if Jackson Smith-Njigba comes back at some point this season. So, yeah, I agree with Doug. Incomplete for me as well.
And just we're in this concourse because we can't be outside because the wind's blowing so hard you won't be able to hear us. That's how windy it is.
Very true. I mean, it is the Big Ten. You have to sometimes play outdoors in November in the Big Ten in the upper Midwest. That's how things go. One thing he said I thought in postgame was interesting, and it was the last question, and I asked him about the 4th and 1 that he converted for the 16-yard. And he said he saw the nickel curling around to take out Mayan Williams because that guy did not think I could or would run the ball. And now teams think he might. And do they have to respect that a little bit more? I don't think you're right. He's not going to go out and run for 79 yards. I don't think he's going to break off 44-yard things. But does it change the defense now that it thinks he might take that route? I don't know. We'll see in the next few games ahead. Obviously, Indiana, then Maryland, and then the big one against Michigan. Come find us for more discussion about this on the Buckeye Talk postgame podcast and get our text service 614-350-3315 for news and updates all week from Buckeye Talk.